Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia. We are here at the Canadian International Auto Show. We are here in Media Day and we're actually ahead of the media. So we've got some stuff going on behind us. Don't worry about that. We are looking at the 2021 Kia Seltos. Now this is an EX model. We've done a whole bunch of videos at the LA Auto Show, at the Toronto Auto Show on the premium version, the SX. This one is the Canadian version of the EX. So we're going to look over some differences and we're going to talk about the equipment on this car. One thing I like is I have not yet seen the face of this car until just now. So we've seen before sort of the textured metal look up here, and in the other model you have LED headlights up here on the top of the line model. This one is halogen lights down here, halogen fog lights down there. Now if we just sort of span across to this car here, this is the higher trim level. You have the LED lights here, signals there, and LED fog lights down there. So that's the real difference. What I do like about this car is you still maintain that sort of off-road kind of feeling. You've got a real sloped front end here on the front side, so you can go over those snow banks that they leave at the end of your driveway every time. You've got a little different look of the grille here, but you do still have LED lights that carry through from the headlights as your daytime running lights into the grille. So you're going to have a very similar face when the car is without the headlights on. Once the headlights turn on, you'll see a little bit of a difference. And I assume these are your signal lights up here. Actually, we can probably check right now. Oh, nope, can't do that. May not have the power to do that with my remote key fob. But that's just like the Kia Soul. We have the Kia Soul with two different faces. The Seltos will also have two different faces. Let's come around to the side of the car now. As we come along the side here, on the higher trim level, you have the sort of brushed aluminum look door handles. These ones have body color door handles. You've got that brushed aluminum look up here. You've still got the same roof racks up here. So if you're a kayaker or a camper like me, these are nice long roof racks. You can get good spread on your bars there. So they're not the tight ones that you have to keep, you know, just really close together. You still have that floating roof look. So you've got the black pillar here, and you've got a little bit of silver trim that goes into here, which gives you that floating roof. So that means the painted section up here rises above the rest of the car, and it's a little bit separate. This one is the all-wheel drive model, so the all-wheel drive will be labeled with a badge on the side of the car, just like our Sportage. We're gonna show you the back wheel here. This is the, now these wheels never show up proper color on video. So these are sort of a darker metallic kind of trim, sort of a graphite color is the way I would call it. They're not the bright silver wheels that you see on some of our other cars that we've done. And we're gonna be moving to some of that darker color. We have the same thing on our Kia Soul. Along the bottom here, the top trim does have a shiny plastic here. The EX also does. So we'll see what happens in the LX. I assume the LX will have sort of the duller plastic down here, but you do have that raised ground clearance look with that trim down there. Coming to the back side here, same basic lighting as the higher trim levels. You've got this metallic look across here, so a nice little eyebrow look across the lights. You've got the darker bumper here, but very similar design. Nice diffuser, that's a lighter color there. Popping the trunk open, you've got a number of things that are interesting. You do have a spare tire underneath here. If we pull this trunk panel down, you can drop that down and give yourself extra storage. The other thing you can do is you can tilt these seats at different levels. So if you have a big square box of cargo, you can put the seat right up straight. And if you have passengers that need a little more comfort, you can put them a little bit back further. So there is the option to go tilt these seats more for comfort or more for cargo space. So that's kind of a nice feature. Now we're going to take a look at the inside. So we just finished the video on the higher end Seltos, the SX model. This one still has leather, so pheno leather is what they call it. It's in our Forte as well. So pheno leather is actually a fake leather. Car's gonna beep if I have the door open, but that's okay. We'll just do this. Turn the car on. So pheno leather is actually a synthetic leather, and it actually, I think it feels nice in leather, it has nice grip, it doesn't get quite as hot, and that's okay, that works really well. You still have the perforations in this leather, but this trim level doesn't have the ventilated seats. You can get that in the higher trim level. In the center of your dash, very similar to what a current Sportage would be. The higher end trim has a bit of a screen in the center. This one has a smaller screen, again, very similar to our current Kia Sportage. Very similar look through the steering wheel to what we have in our Sportage. Moving over to the side, you still have a floating screen up here, so that's a new thing that we've been doing for a while. Comes up above the dash. This one is not the 10¼ inch screen. A little bit downsized, looks like an 8-inch screen to me. And but still very clear, all the typical stuff you'd see from us, easy to use functionality. Two panels here, you've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay through there. As we scroll down, you do have this new climate system. Again, we're gonna do a video on the climate system here. Has automatic climate control. There's some differences in that system, so we'll do that as well. Down here, you have a spot for your phone, which is raised above where you would put other things. On this particular trim level, it does not have the charging pad, which you can get in the higher trim level. So if you want that, you can get it in this car. You just have to step up a trim level. You do have drive modes. Eco, Normal, and Sport. So regardless of engine, you still have 3 drive modes, Eco, Normal, Sport. In the Kia Soul, you have 2 drive modes. Gear shift is very similar to some of our other models. You've got 3 levels of heated seats and a heated steering wheel here. This particular model has a manual handbrake. Other ones have a automatic handbrake, the electronic handbrake. The electronic handbrake gives you that auto hold feature, which we'll talk about in a future video as well. You do have the auto start stop, so when the car comes to a stoplight, it may turn off for you. Don't panic about that. It's designed to do that. It helps save for fuel and emissions. And I used the wrong term on that. My cameraman's going to correct me on the term. Idle, stop, and go. There we go. I almost got everything right. You still have automatic headlights here, and like I said, the fog lights as well. Steering wheel controls are very similar. Now, there's a new button on the steering wheel that actually, yeah, that's interesting. We'll show our cameraman here. So this might be a steering mode returning to us, because we have drive modes down here, we have heated steering wheel down here, but the button on the steering wheel does show a steering wheel. So we're going to look into what that is. That may be a selectable steering. We used to do that in the past where you could change the steering feel of the car. We'll find out what that means. It may also be a safety feature. So forgive me for not knowing that. That's a bit of a surprise to me. We always assumed that was the heated steering wheel button in the past. So we're going to move outside the car now. Jump up. I should mention the grills here and the grates on the doors. I'll get my camera to jump in there right now. Those grills are very similar to the higher end trim. This one doesn't have the Harman Kardon sound system, but you have sort of a mountainous look to those grills. So there's a lot more to show you about this car. We're going to get an LX trim within days, we hope. So this car is the EX trim, the mid-level trim. We've shown you the SX trim in a previous video, which you can check on our YouTube channel. This is the EX model. So lots to show you here. We've got lots more to talk about when these cars come in. If you have questions about these cars, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Our sales team is ready to sell these. These are going to be really competitive in the class. So you can click the link below to reach our sales team, or let us know in the comments what you want to know. We plan to do a whole bunch of videos. So thanks everybody for watching from here at the Canadian International Auto Show, and feel free to come see these cars at Brantford Kia.